Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Liber Oz again. It's early in the morning, so excuse me if I look like I just woke up. I wanted to make a video about Liber Oz and talk about kind of the flip side of it that I think a lot of people miss. I've tried to make this video several times and I haven't been happy with it so far. So I'm going to try to just bust it out this morning. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you'd like to support the channel, there's a link to our Patreon in the description below. There's also t-shirts underneath the video. You can buy one of those to support the channel, or just continue to watch the videos. So Liber Oz, a little backstory. This was one of the first Thelemic documents that I read. Okay, back in 1994, I had read the Book of the Law, and when I read Liber Oz shortly thereafter, it just really profoundly struck me, as you know, as I have described it over the years, the way that I had already been living my life up to that point. And I kind of took an immediate shine to it. And in 1995, when I was baptized into EGC, I took Oz as my motto. And while you see a lot of people who change around their mottos over the years and stuff, mine has remained Oz since that time, since 1995. And I still feel a profound connection to the document, okay? Now, to toot my own horn a little bit, back in 2010, I facilitated the largest printing in history of Liber Oz. I took in donations through a project I used to run called The Island, and with the help of a couple of other Thelemites, as well as a lot of people who donated to the project, we printed up 10,000 Liber Oz cards on postcards and distributed them out to, I can't remember how many it was. It was a bunch of OTO bodies and one non-OTO body to use for promulgation materials. So I want to just talk a little bit, because one of the problems that I've been having in making this video is I keep having to use the term want. Do whatever you want. Do what you want. When what I mean to say is will. And it's kind of hard sometimes to make that distinction, because will is not necessarily always a conscious thing. And so I just want to make clear that there is a distinct difference before I begin this video between want and will, okay? And if you notice, this document is, you have the right to do this as you will, as you will, as you will, as you will. It does not say want. But in regular life, like, a lot of people interpret this, or they kind of misconstrue want and will. So if I use the term want, okay, it's not because I don't understand the difference, okay, but a lot of people view this as rights that, you know, pertain in both ways. But what you need to understand is that while Liber Oz gives you all these rights, or it declares that you have these rights, there is a flip side to that. And a lot of people miss that, or attempt to use Liber Oz to manipulate others for their own purposes, to try to get what they want, okay? So I want to talk about that. First, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just read the entire document. Crowley described it originally, in its original form. Liber Oz was called The Rights of Man. Crowley described this document as the OTO plan in words of one syllable. Okay. It has some quotes at the beginning and a couple of quotes at the end. Okay, but other than that, this document is the rights of man. Liber Oz, Liber 77. So here it is. The law of the strong. This is our law and the joy of the world. Al 2, verse 2. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Al 1, verse 40. Thou hast no right but to do thy will. Do that, and no other shall say nay. Al 1, verse 42, 43. Every man and every woman is a star. Al 1, verse 3. There is no God but man. 1. Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. 2. Man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. 3. Man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to dress as he will. 4. Man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and will of love as ye will, when, where, and with whom ye will. Al 1, verse 51. 5. Man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve. Al 2, verse 58. Love is the law, love under will. Al 1, verse 57. So that is Liber Oz. I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with the document, but I wanted to read it for those who find this video who may not be familiar with it. So, Liber Oz lays out all of these rights, the rights of man, okay? And when it says man, it means everyone, okay? Not just men. It lays out all of these rights, okay? But these are not the only rights that are implied. What Liber Oz is basically trying to instruct you about is the fact that from the moment you were born, from the moment of your birth, you are free. Truly free. You are truly free to make your own decisions, to choose to do what you will. Choose to do what you want. Okay? Both. You have that freedom. If you want to jump out in front of a bus, you have that right. Whatever you want to do, you have the ability to make that choice. Now, where I think people get confused or people misconstrue this document is when they think that it means that you have all of these rights and nothing is supposed to get in your way. Okay? Every line in this document has implied consequences and potential consequences. The magic, if you will, of using Liber Oz is in determining from experience to experience, from moment to moment, if the consequences are worth the reward to exercise these rights. Okay? So just a couple of small examples, okay? Man has the right to dwell where he will. So you have the right to live where you want to live. But if you try to come and live in my house, there's going to be a problem. Okay? So you have the right to dwell where you will, but you still have to follow the law of the land, the rules to avoid consequence. Okay? Man has the right to move as he will on the face of the earth. If I want to, I can choose to try to sneak across the Canadian border and, hope that I don't get stopped. But if I get caught, I'm probably going to jail, okay? That doesn't mean you don't have the right to dwell to move as you will on the face of the earth. It means that there are procedures that you have to follow in order to enact that will to live in a certain place. If you want to, and this is true of all of these different rights. There are potential consequences to each one of these rights, and you have to determine if your desire to exercise this right and the reward of exercising that right are worth the potential consequences that you may encounter. One parallel that could be drawn is to the freedom of speech in the United States. There are a lot of people who misconstrue the meaning of a freedom of speech. Okay, they think that it means that they can say whatever they want and nobody can do anything about it. And that's not what freedom of speech is. Okay, what freedom of speech is nobody's going to stop you from saying whatever you want to say. The government is not going to come in and stop you from some kind of speech. But if you go on the east side of Fort Worth and stand out in the street and start yelling racist shit, you're probably going to get shot. Okay, there are consequences for the actions that you take in life. And by choosing to exercise any one of these rights, or really anything you do in your entire life, you have to do that with forethought and caution and think about the potential consequences and ways that you can avoid those. This is the same as just pursuit of your will in everyday life. You need to pursue your will in the way that has the least obstacles. Pushing aside things that work against your will and embracing things that carry you towards your will. Okay? And it's the same concept with Liber Oz, why we say has the right to do this as they will. Okay? If it's your will to move as you will upon the face of the earth and move to another country, okay, then you have to embrace all the things that push you toward that goal, like getting a passport, like, getting all your shit together and getting your ducks in a row so that you can do that without restriction, without obstruction. This is true of every right in this book. And what you will see within the community from time to time is people attempting to manipulate others by saying things like, you're violating my Liber Oz rights, or isn't that violating my Liber Oz rights? Like, no. Like, you have the right to do this thing, and if you do it in the right way, you can do it unobstructed, most likely, depending on what it is. But if you think that it means that you just get to go do whatever you want and nobody's supposed to get in your way, then you're not paying attention. You don't know what this document actually means, okay? Because what you have to understand is that everybody has all these inherent rights, not just you. Everybody has these inherent rights. So what that means is it's the concept of every man and every woman is a star, and there's plenty of room in the universe for all of these stars to coexist and go along on their path. It's only when people get out of their orbits and their path that these conflicts occur. And so by this we can infer that part of those orbits and paths is to do all of the things that keep you on an unobstructed path. It's like I've always used the example of someone who wants to be a doctor. Someone who wants to be a doctor wants to make that path obstructed in order to complete that goal. And what so you can't just go off partying all night and smoking weed and fucking doing all kinds of stupid stuff that's going to keep you from doing that. The way you become a doctor is not to just say, I want to become a doctor. The way you do it is to buckle down, bust your ass in school, follow all the rules. That's just how you do it. You bust your ass and you push your way through that by following all the rules, removing all the obstructions from your path so that you have a clear path to that goal. And Liber Oz, the rights in there are no different. This is not saying that you get to do whatever you want and nobody's allowed to stop you. This means that if you want to do something, you have the right to pursue that, but you still need to do it in a thelemic way and, remove the restrictions from your path, overcome obstacles, do all of the surrounding things that clear that path for you. I don't know how much easier to explain it. I know this is a pretty long video, but like I said, I've tried to make this video multiple times, and there was always something in it that I wasn't happy with. Okay, so I wanted to just kind of make a longer video and go over it a little more in detail, and hopefully this one will be a little more acceptable to me when I watch it after I hit the stop button. So I'm probably just going to throw this one up. It felt a lot better to me than the others. So I hope that wasn't confusing. And I wanted to offer that perspective on Liber Oz, since I feel like I have a strong connection to it on a personal level. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave me a comment down below, and consider joining the Patreon or buying a t-shirt to support the channel. Thanks for watching. Love is the law. Love under will.